Accommodating gluten allergies with one dessert is challenging, but with my gluten-free strawberry cupcakes, everyone can celebrate without compromising on delicious flavor or style. They are gluten-free and grain-free with almond and tapioca flour, and they're naturally sweetened with maple syrup and cane sugar, which is 1/3 of the grams of sugar in traditional strawberry cupcakes. So you won't have to worry about getting a sugar buzz after eating only one. And the light, creamy frosting is made without any powdered sugar or artificial food coloring. I'll also show you how to decorate chocolate-dipped strawberries to add a fashionable flair. Everyone will enjoy these regardless of whether or not they have a gluten allergy. We're going to begin by making the frosting so that it has time to chill while we make the cupcakes. We're going to start with 1/2 cup of either white chocolate chips or white chocolate melting wafers. And then we're going to add 1/2 teaspoon of coconut oil. And then I'm going to put this in the microwave for 20 seconds. After the 20 seconds, you want to take it out and then just give it a gentle stir. And it won't be completely melted yet. So now we're going to put it back in the microwave for another 20 seconds. So after a second 20 seconds, we can now stir it until it's smooth and creamy. And then we'll go ahead and set this aside. To mix the frosting, you could use either a blender or mixer. I'm going to use the chopper cup that comes with my immersion blender. So I'm going to add 8 ounces of cream cheese that has been brought to room temperature. And then we'll add 1 teaspoon of vanilla. I want this frosting to be pink, but I don't want to use any artificial dyes. So I'm going to use this 100% pure dragon fruit powder that's been freeze dried. And this doesn't contain any artificial dyes or ingredients. Now, because this is in powder form, you'll use much more than if it was just a liquid food coloring. So I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of this powdered food coloring. Then we'll add 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And then to bring in the strawberry flavor, we'll go ahead and add 2 strawberries. So I'm just going to quickly cut off the stem, just cut it in half and drop those right in. And then now I'll just put on the lid and mix it on high until well combined. Perfect. Oh, that color is so beautiful. So now we can add in our melted chocolate. We're just going to pour it right into our cup. And then we'll quickly mix this until well combined. Well, that looks fantastic. So I'm going to go ahead and just take out the blade. And then I'm going to set this in my fridge while we prepare the whipping cream. One of the secrets to making this frosting just light and fluffy and without having to add a lot of powdered sugar is using whipping cream, because it helps give it a lot of body and volume. Now, you could use the pre-made whipped topping, but if you look at the ingredients, this has water as the main ingredient, and then it's corn syrup, high fructose corn syrup, vegetable oil, until you get to actually light cream. As a second option, you could use whipping cream and just whip it yourself, and the main ingredient is heavy cream. Use whichever option works best for you and the amount of time that you have to make these. To mix my whipping cream, I'm going to use the beaker as well as the whisk that comes with my immersion blender. Now, I did go ahead and set these in the freezer for about the last hour or two as I was getting things ready, and it will help speed up the time that it takes the whipping cream to stiffen, but it's definitely not mandatory. So I'm just going to add 1 cup of whipping cream into the beaker. And then I'm going to simply mix it on high until the stiff peaks form. It is always so #satisfying when those stiff peaks form. Now, in a medium-sized mixing bowl, we're going to combine our cream cheese mixture with our whipped cream. So I'm going to go ahead and just empty them both into this bowl. And we'll add in our whipping cream. And then with a spatula, we'll go ahead and just stir these together until well combined. And having the 2 different colors will make it easy to tell when they are mixed together. Oh, that is so pretty. Now I'm going to go ahead and spread it in my bowl a little bit thin around the edges, which is going to expose more of it to the cold air when I put this back in the fridge. And that's going to help the cream cheese and the white chocolate to solidify, which gives us a really nice thick frosting that'll be super easy to pipe. So I'm going to put this back in the fridge while we make our cupcakes. To make our light and spongy strawberry cupcakes, we're going to start by adding our wet ingredients to a medium-sized mixing bowl. We're going to start with 2 eggs, 1/2 cup of maple syrup, 1/4 cup of melted coconut oil, and 2 teaspoons of vanilla. And then we'll just whisk these together until well combined. Now we'll add our dry ingredients, which includes 1 1/4 cup of almond flour, 1/2 cup of tapioca flour, and 1 teaspoon of baking powder and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And then we'll just simply whisk these together until well combined. And then to bring in that delicious fresh strawberry flavor, we're going to add about 1/2 cup of chopped strawberries, which is about 4 or 5 medium strawberries. So we're just going to cut off the stem, cut them in half, cut them into a couple of layers, cut them into some thin slices, give them a little spin, and then dice them up nice and small. You want to make sure your strawberries are nice and ripe to maximize their naturally sweet flavor. Slicing them nice and small will give just a fresh strawberry flavor throughout the cupcake without it being soggy. So go ahead and just add these right to our batter. And then we'll just gently stir these in. To visually enhance the strawberry flavor and style of these cupcakes, I'm going to use these hot pink paper liners. So I just place them in all of my muffin cups, and you do not have to spray these with nonstick. And then you'll want to pour in about 1/4 cup of batter. And I'm going to use my 1/3 cup batter scoop just to make it a little bit easier and to keep a uniform amount. So we'll go ahead and fill these with batter about 3/8 of an inch from the top. Now these are ready to be baked in a 350-degree oven for 27 minutes or until a toothpick comes out clean. And because they have the strawberries inside, you'll want them to be just lightly browned on the top to know that they're done. To decorate the strawberries that go on top of our cupcakes, we're going to melt down some chocolate wafers as well as some white chocolate wafers. You could use chocolate chips instead. I have 1/2 cup of dark chocolate and about 1/4 cup of white chocolate. To the dark chocolate, I'm going to add 1/2 teaspoon of coconut oil. And to the white chocolate, since there's less of them, I'm just going to add about 1/4 teaspoon of coconut oil. And this will make them just a little bit smoother and easier for dipping. And then I'm going to microwave these separately in 20-second intervals until they're melted. So after 2 20-second intervals, both of our chocolates are nicely melted. Now if I was just dipping strawberries in chocolate to eat as is, I would go for the really big, juicy strawberries. But since these are going on top of our cupcakes, I want to use the slightly smaller strawberries so that they're a little bit more in proportion to the cupcakes. So I have a cookie sheet here that's just lined with a piece of parchment paper to put the strawberries on after they've been dipped in chocolate. And the stem is not real big, so I'm gonna have to hold on to it carefully. But just simply dip it in the chocolate, wiggle around, let it drip, set it on the tray, and there you go. Find another cute little strawberry here. Find the stem so I can grip it, dip it in the chocolate, wiggle it around, and then place it on the tray, and voila. It really is this easy. Now that all of our strawberries have been dipped in the dark chocolate, we can add our white chocolate stripe around the strawberries. And I have found that the easiest way to do this is just using a little plastic bag. So I'm gonna go ahead and use just this little snack bag. And I'm gonna use another little jar just to be able to open up the bag and then poke one corner down into the jar. And then I'm going to take the white chocolate and just pour it right into the bag. And then we'll carefully take our bag out of the jar. And then I'm going to kind of fold the bag over slightly to get rid of extra air. And then go ahead and seal it, which is very important. I'm going to pinch the corner to move some of the chocolate out of the way. Take a pair of scissors, and I'm just going to trim off a very small little triangle to give us a very small little opening in our bag, which will give us a really fine strand of white chocolate. Now you may have noticed that I dipped more than 12 strawberries, and that was definitely intentional in case I have any oops strawberries, or just to have a few extra to sample at the end. So I'm going to take a plate to be able to work over the top of. So I'm going to start at the small end and then let the chocolate just kind of wrap around. Okay, no pressure, we can do this. All right, so we'll just let a little bead of chocolate come out. Move it very slowly, and we'll give it one more. Nice, not bad for our first one. Okay, let's see if we can do it again. Start just nice steady bead all the way around, around again, and the third time. Nice. Now another design you could do, which would also look really beautiful, is to just kind of go back and forth in a little bit more of a loosey-goosey avant-garde manner. Ooh, that looks really pretty too. It's kind of a zebra effect. Well, those turned out so cool, and thankfully they don't take very long for the chocolate to harden. We can set these aside and then pipe our cupcakes. When the cupcakes came out of the oven after the 27 minutes, I went ahead and allowed the pan to cool on my counter for about 10 minutes, and then I removed the cupcakes from the tin and then allowed them to cool completely. And then I removed the cupcakes from the tin and allowed them to cool on the counter, and then I put them into the freezer for about 10 minutes so they could be completely cool. And that will ensure that our frosting doesn't melt when we pipe it on top. And then I have our frosting that has been in the fridge. You can see it just has this nice thick and smooth consistency that will make it really easy to pipe. And that's without having to include any powdered sugar. I'm going to use a jumbo star tip and then a plastic disposable piping bag. So I'm just going to drop the tip inside so that I can guess where I need to cut the opening. So let's move it back out of the way, grab some scissors, cut out the tip, and then I'll just start spooning in our delicious strawberry frosting. Oh my goodness, that looks so good. Push out the air until there we go, until we have some frosting coming out. Okay, we are ready to pipe. Okay, deep breath, here we go. Ooh, that's coming out so smooth. Circle around and lift. Oh, that is so cute. Okay, we got this. Well, you can see how easy it is to just pipe on a mountain of frosting, and they look so good. Now to make them even more fabulous, I want to use some of these natural sprinkles. And I love their little ball shape. They almost look like little pearls. So I'm gonna go ahead and almost place them by hand, as opposed to just sprinkling them on top, just so I can make sure they're evenly spread out on the cupcakes, because everything's better with sprinkles. Now we can add our chocolate dipped strawberry, which is literally the cherry on top. But you could leave it off if you have some guests or children who are not crazy about eating chunky strawberries, even though they enjoy strawberry flavor, like a few in my family. So I'm just gonna take one of our strawberries, and then before putting it on top, I'll just kind of look around the bottom and see if there's any edges to clean up. And then we just simply place the strawberry right in the center of the cupcake, and then just very gently lower it down. Voila. And what's so wonderful about this frosting is that it has some nice strength and rigidity to it so that the strawberry doesn't sink in the middle. Being handed one of these cupcakes would definitely bring a smile to anyone's face. And now for the best part. And I think in the interest of being a little more ladylike on camera, I will go ahead and eat this on a plate with a fork. That is dreamy. I have to go in for a second bite. When I bite in, I get a sweet and fluffy texture of the cake, and then the little bits of strawberry mixed in, and then they're all wrapped up in just that smooth, creamy frosting, which is just perfectly sweetened and has that little bit of white chocolate flavor to it. And then the little crunch from the sprinkles is just fun. And then eating that chocolate dipped strawberry is just the perfect ending to a delicious cupcake. And I would never guess that this was gluten-free or made without any powdered sugar. But I will definitely feel much better after eating it than if it was otherwise. And I think it has even more flavor than a traditional sugary strawberry cupcake. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today in my kitchen to make these cupcakes, and I am so excited for you to make them too. And if you'd like to see the full recipe, I've included a link in the video description below, and it's on my website, gentletummy.com. And I also invite you to like and subscribe to my channel. And if you know someone else who would also enjoy a gluten-free, fabulous strawberry cupcake, please share this video with them. And I cannot wait to have you hang out with me again in my kitchen next time.